This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
And there's been an unprecedented amount of planning going into this, and we have spent countless hours with all of our partners that are here today planning for the safety of the spectators, drivers, and pedestrians on the Strip during the race while ensuring the rest of our community is kept safe. I want to thank all of the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies who will be working side by side with us and for their help in getting the special event assessment rating for this event raised to a SEER Level 2. The Department of Homeland Security will also be providing a liaison for us in case we need anything from our federal partners and additional resources if they're needed during this event. We have a liaison with the Department of Homeland Security. As you know, Metro will have a large presence both inside the track and outside the track on the Strip. And everybody in this room that's been here before and has been in town for a long time knows we're no stranger to handling these large-scale events. And events like this are a unique challenge for us, and this one is in particularly unique because of the footprint. In addition to our officers that you will see out there during the event and in the community, you will also see hundreds of private sector security folks working inside the track each night. And the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has asked and worked closely with the Las Vegas Grand Prix to install safety scrims, as you can see in the picture here, on all of the private and public pedestrian bridges that will be over the track and in and around the footprint of the race. And there's a couple reasons for those safety scrims. We can't allow for people to stop the flow of pedestrian traffic during this event and clog up the pedestrian traffic on the bridge, and also for the driver's safety as well. We can't allow people to be on the bridges and be able to throw things down onto the track below the bridges. During this event, our officers will be strictly enforcing the ordinances that are usually reserved for New Year's Eve for the 4 nights that this event will take place. So you're all very familiar with the ordinances that cover no glass bottles that are allowed, no strollers or carts are allowed, and you will not allow to have any large bags down on the Strip, like backpacks or any items larger than 12 by 12 by 6 inches. It's no surprise to the community that's the same ordinances and same rules we follow for the large event we all call New Year's Eve here. And we're asking everyone to follow these ordinances. The goal of bringing that information to you all here today and what we're going to do in the future to promote what we're doing as far as the ordinances go is to generate voluntary compliance. Please just don't bring these items down to the Strip, and that'll leave the officers free to deal with the safety concerns that we have for this event. The race folks will also have some additional information on what the prohibited items are that cannot be brought into the track, and they'll provide that information to you here today. So the road closures are obviously the big story associated with this event, and the road closures around the circuit will include portions of Las Vegas Boulevard, Covell Lane, Harmon Avenue, and Sands Avenue. And these closures will take place from Thursday, November 16th through Saturday, November 18th, and they will begin each day at 5 p.m. with a hard closure of each of these roads at 7 p.m. The track will reopen at around 2 a.m. and with the goal of having the roads fully open to traffic around 6 a.m. And this is all contingent on how fast the crews can clear the circuits. The FAA will also implement a temporary flight restriction during this event for a no drone zone around the race. Drone operators who enter the restricted airspace without permission could face drone confiscation, fines that exceed $30,000, and potential criminal prosecution. As usual, Las Vegas, with this event, is on the worldwide stage, and the spotlight will be on our community as we proceed through the days of this event. We need the help of visitors, and we need the help of residents to help us. They are a force multiplier during large-scale events like this. And we encourage everybody, if you see suspicious activity out there in the Strip, please tell an officer, call 911, or even use our See Something, Say Something hotline, which is manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that phone number is 702-828-7777. 702-828-7777. We're also going to have detectives and officers from other assignments working patrol during the event race days to make sure that our focus of keeping the community at large is safe. So we'll have a large footprint out there in the community while we have resources deployed to the Strip. And with everyone's cooperation, we're going to make this Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix a great event. I thank you all for being here today, and without further comment from me right now, I'm going to turn the podium over to the Las Vegas Grand Prix Vice President of Event Operations, Vanessa Anthes.
Thank you, Under Sheriff Walsh. I am here to share with you a brief overview of the event plans that we have been working on as an extensive amount of effort, coordination, and collaboration with countless entities has gone into getting us where we are today. We have coordinated plans and resources to ensure that we will have a safe and memorable experience for the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. In planning this world-class event, the Las Vegas Grand Prix team has been laser-focused to ensure the safety of our guests, race teams, staff, properties, businesses, and the entire Las Vegas community. As part of this commitment, we have developed a coordinated safety effort with the teams at LVMPD, Clark County, and many other important partners to ensure the highest level of safety standards are met in and around the race circuit. The Las Vegas Grand Prix is a walking race where we are encouraging guests to enjoy the amenities of the resort corridor and the bright lights of the boulevard and then journey to their respective ticketed zones. We have created a dedicated F1 Las Vegas app containing customized wayfinding routes to all of our guest locations. The F1 Las Vegas app is a user-friendly device that will be updated in real time with the most efficient pedestrian path routing. This app houses guest tickets, interactive maps, schedules, race standings, and more. The app is open to all to download from iPhone and Android. You do not need to be a ticket holder to find great tools in this device. The event will kick off with our opening ceremonies on Wednesday, November 15th. This will be open to guests in our Paddock Club, our PG1 main grandstand, and Skybox ticket holders. The gates will open at 5 p.m., with the opening ceremony beginning at 7:30 p.m. in the East Harmon Fan Zone. Thursday, November 16th, will begin our first full day of circuit events with 2 practice sessions. Our gates to all zones will open at 6 p.m. The first practice session will be from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and the second session from midnight to 1 a.m. Friday, November 17th, will consist of the third practice session and qualifying. Gates to all of our zones will open at 6 p.m. The third practice session will be from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and qualifying from midnight to 1 a.m. Saturday, November 18th, the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix will commence. The Paddock Club will open at 5 p.m. and all other gates will open at 6 p.m. The driver parade will begin at 7:50 p.m., followed by pre-race events, and the Grand Prix will begin at 10 p.m. All persons entering the venues will go through a weapons detection and security screening. The Las Vegas Grand Prix has a clear bag policy. Small handbags and fanny packs are permitted, but that do not have to be transparent. Those sizes cannot exceed 4.5 by 6.5 inches. All other purses, totes, and backpacks must be transparent and cannot exceed a 12 by 6 by 12 inches. Please note that we do not have storage lockers or bag check outside our gates, so please plan accordingly. Diaper bags will be permitted when accompanied by an infant. All bags will be subject to search upon entry. Children 24 months or younger are permitted without a ticket if they are seated on the lap of their parent or guardian and do not interfere with sight lines of those around them. We do have a reentry policy where guests must scan out their ticket to re-enter. We encourage all guests to become acquainted with our A to Z guide, FAQs, and Race Week guides that will be located on the F1 Las Vegas app and our website. In addition, it's important for all attending the Grand Prix to familiarize yourself with what will not be permitted in our event zones. Examples include, but are not limited to, strollers, collapsible or non-collapsible chairs or stools, professional film, photo, or sound equipment, and umbrellas. A full list of prohibited items appears on our A to Z list in the F1 Las Vegas app and our website. Last, during the event, fans are encouraged to report suspicious or unruly activity by texting issues and location to 747 F1 Vegas for any compatible mobile device. The texted information will be relayed to event security. Thank you, and I would now like to turn it over to Clark County Commission Chairman Jim Gibson.
I'm choreographing this. We're happy to be here with you today, and I'm pleased to have 2 really important colleagues with me, Vice Chair of the County Commission, Tick Segerblum, and Commissioner William McCurdy, and we appreciate their participation and their support and the great work that's been done by them and so many others at the county, including all of my colleagues. We're proud to be a partner with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and so many other agencies to host the first ever Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix. From our New Year's Eve celebrations to our full roster of conventions, concerts, and other spectacles, we've demonstrated time and again that Las Vegas is the best place in the world to host special events. For anyone who has watched Drive to Survive on Netflix, you know Formula One is in a class all its own. While we're dedicated to and use an incredibly talented workforce, all of that has been in swing during this event, during the preparation for the event, and by any standards, it's been a very heavy lift for our community to make the steps or take the steps necessary to have a successful event. Everyone who works here, lives here, who works in the resort corridor in particular has been impacted. They've had to sacrifice because of the significant road work and construction that has been underway. We recognize that, and we thank residents and visitors all for their patience. And we even appreciate the constructive criticism we received, suggesting not everyone has been all that patient. We also want to thank the county staff from Metro, our fire department, the RTC, NDOT, many agencies that have been working for months in partnership with the Las Vegas Grand Prix to bring this event to our community. Staff from many county departments and other agencies will be working throughout the race and throughout race week, before, after, and during the event, to make sure that we come through with our promise, which is this will be a safe event for everyone. Clark County's Multi-Agency Coordination Center, which is operated by our Emergency Management Division within our fire department, will be active monitoring events and supporting Metro and other agencies to respond to any needs they may have and to help fulfill all requests. On race nights, our fire department will be working with local ambulance companies to have EMS teams deployed along the Strip. We also have teams of firefighters deployed within the racetrack circuit to respond to any incidents that may occur on or off the 3.8-mile course. Staff from our Public Works Department will be ready to respond to any issues that may arise with traffic signal infrastructure or to address any repair issues on the public infrastructure of any kind. While we're geared up to host this event, we also want to remind the public that it's not going to be easy to navigate the Strip or resort corridor during race week due to the lane restrictions, scheduled closures, and the like. Motorists should anticipate traffic delays and consider alternate routes. And it's probably unnecessary for us to say it, but it's more of the same when it comes to being careful to plan your trip and your travel in that area. We strongly advise people to opt in to receive traffic notifications and updates through an SMS text service that Clark County established in partnership with the Las Vegas Grand Prix. To receive alerts, text F1LV to 31996. Clark County, the RTC, and Metro will be active on our social media sites sharing information. Detailed traffic information also is on the local traffic page of the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix website. As the Undersheriff mentioned, we also want to remind the public that our special events ordinance to protect public safety during big events on the Strip will be in effect throughout all periods when the road closures are in effect. Items not allowed during these times include bottles, large bags, strollers, and coolers. As noted in the graphics that you have seen and will see, there are also additional restrictions on items in ticketed areas for the race, and you've heard a list of those things today. Now, to talk more about our preparations for this event, let me introduce Elise Porto, Switch Senior Vice President of Sustainability, and then we'll take some questions. Elise?
Las Vegas is no stranger to big-time sports, having hosted many championship boxing matches, the National Finals Rodeo, UFC, bowl games, and college basketball tournaments. What we have had was a remarkable collection of single events. What we didn't have until a few short years ago was professional sports that called Las Vegas home. The record post-COVID growth we have enjoyed as a community reflects all that has been done to evolve professional sports in Las Vegas. To maintain this economic vibrancy, we must find ways to continuously expand and extend our relationships with professional sports. With this year's Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup win, the Aces' second WNBA championship, next year's Super Bowl, and the impending arrival of the A's, Las Vegas has taken center stage into the world sports spotlight. The not-so-secret sauce is the power of Las Vegas to draw people from all over the country and around the world to attend events in our city. For these events to thrive, public safety must remain a vigilant focus as it has historically. Last March, Switch announced its multi-year partnership with the Formula One Heineken Silver Las Vegas Grand Prix. Switch will provide the Las Vegas Grand Prix team with resources to support its sustainability goals of becoming carbon neutral by 2030. Another joint commitment between Switch and Formula One relates to ensuring the security and safety for all. As we have on New Year's Eve for the past 4 years, Switch is proud to host the command center for the first responders and other agencies during this year's historic Formula One Grand Prix. Our state-of-the-art facility holds technology infrastructure that allows public safety officials to monitor events, focus on safety, and communicate with the media. Through the vision of our CEO and founder, Rob Roy, we've worked hard to minimize our impact on Southern Nevada's environment by providing our facilities and technology for the remarkable collection of our first responders, as well as federal and international agencies. Switch is also doing its part to enhance the safety and security for all Las Vegas residents and all race goers. Together with Formula One, we are making a difference for our environment and supporting continued growth in our local economy. Working in partnership with public safety agencies, we can help Las Vegas maintain our community's unrivaled history of economic and environmental vibrancy. It's a big job, but Switch is more than ready to step forward and do our part to make Las Vegas the world's most recognized and sought-after professional sports city. With that, I'll turn it over to Under Sheriff Walsh.
So that concludes our comments, and if anybody has any questions, we'll take a minute to answer a few questions. If it's not me, just tell me who you need to direct your question towards, and we'll take a few.
Do you know how many people you expect along the race route on Saturday?
I don't know the total ticket sales or where we're at, but the grandstands, I think the grandstands themselves hold between 20 and 30,000 at the two different spots, and the paddock is not as big, obviously, but we're planning for this like it's New Year's Eve. I think that's the best way to look at it is, the number of visitors that will be here for this race is comparable to that. So that's what we're planning for.
And where are most people going to be parking?
I know where I'm parking, but I don't know.
Is there a parking facility available?
Does anybody have the parking?
So we are working with various exterior lots where the casinos will have their designated lots for their guests. So any guests that are driving to the casinos and staying at those properties, those resorts will have those parking lots. We are encouraging all that are coming to the circuit to utilize the monorail where possible for access into the various stops. And then there are rideshare depots if those are coming and taking rideshare to the race. We have one location at the Virgin Hotel for rideshare and another at the Howard Hughes Center.
Do you expect a lot of people without tickets to be walking over there to view the race?
We are anticipating that most that are coming down will be utilizing a ticketed zone or a ticketed location. Around the race perimeter, you will notice, if you haven't, the various marshal fence that is going up, and that has a windscreen that is being placed on that. So if guests don't have a ticket or a designated destination, it might not be the best place to come on the weekend without a designated destination to go to.
Question for Metro. What was the planning process like for this? Was this copy-paste New Year's Eve, or were you guys doing research and looking at previous events like in Singapore and across?
Yeah, no, so just to the copy and paste term, I understand why you would ask that, but that's nothing with we do is really copy and paste. We have to look at each of these things as its own entity. Even New Year's Eve to New Year's Eve looks different every year. So while there are some basics, there are nuances to everything. And in this case, you look at this circuit and where the track's going to be, it's completely different in so many ways and alike in some ways, but there's so many differences to it that there's no way you can take a plan that we had on file and make it work for this event.
So what was the research and planning like for this? I mean, were you comparing it to other F1 races that have happened previously, other Vegas events?
Yeah, so when we go back to, we look at part of the process for this was we sent folks to other Grand Prix events so they could see what was going on in other cities. Miami in particular was one place we sent folks. So when we get to see what they do in those cities and then try to apply it to what we do here, I think when you look at all of the large events that we've done over time, Electric Daisy, Life is Beautiful, the first year is obviously the hardest. I mean, you don't know, and so you have to plan for a variety of things, and there's a lot of contingencies that go into an event like this simply because of the iconic location where it's occurring, and we know that we're on that stage, and so this is a huge event that draws an international crowd. So there's a lot of components to this that are similar to New Year's Eve, but it takes we break it down, tear it apart each and every way. I've driven the folks that are planning this event crazy with all the different scenarios and things we throw at them so that we're prepared for everything. And it helps, too, with our partners, the fire department and everybody else, all the other first responders in the first responder community that participate in those plans with us. That's really how all of these go.
Did you research the other two F1 races that happened in Vegas in the 80s to see how they did things?
No, I mean, we did, but I don't think that the way the world is today and the complexity of what we're dealing with on the world's picture today, this approach to this is completely different. So I don't know how much time we spent doing that, but we look at history, obviously, but this is a standalone compared to that.
I have a question for Commissioner Gibson, if possible. Have you settled to the satisfaction of the county the question of costs for paving and other things? Those questions came up.
Some of those items will remain open for a while, and they're open, so no, we haven't fully resolved all of that.
Is that still around $80 million?
Well, what we know is what you know. So there have been, the requests that we share and the cost associated with the paving and the work on the boulevard and the other streets. But there are a lot of pieces and parts to the whole thing, and we'll work through that in due course. We've all agreed to postpone all of that because the event has driven or taken so much of the energy and time that it really needs to be something that we separate from the preparations for the event.
There's been comparisons to Vegas, might be like Monaco with the rain forecast possibly. Do you speak on the fact of, it's typically sunny here, but we might have a little weather impacting the fact of how things are run? Will it be impacting much, do you believe?
Well, I can leave that to Formula One people who know how these cars operate in the rain. What I've been told is that the event is such that it will happen, rain or shine. So that's what I've been told, and we believe that.
You want to tell us?
Is there anything more? That's it. Rain or shine, it's happening.
All right, thank you all for coming.
I'm sorry, I have one more question. My bad, for the police. With regard to police resources, if you are needing to devote tremendous resources to covering the race, what about the rest of the county?
Yeah, and that's why I said in my comments that we're going to take detectives and people that are typically not in patrol assignments and shore up that the gaps that we have in patrol are covered by this. So we take what we do in our neighborhoods on a daily basis very serious. The strategic prevention and reduction of crime is one of our first goals, and we can't blink for 1 second when it comes to what goes on outside of the Strip to protect the rest of this community. I live here, you live here, so you have my assurance that we're not missing anything. And when it comes to that, we have resources deployed, so we will not be shorthanded when it comes to protecting our full-time residents. You're welcome. All right, thank you all for coming.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.